Commission for Lathrup Village, Tuesday, June 18th, 2019, to order. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Madam Clerk, if you would proceed with roll call.
Roll call. Chair Piotrowski.
Here.
Vice Chair Kopas. Secretary Hammond.
Present.
Board Member Hulieza.
Present.
Board Member Cantor. Board Member Stansberry.
Here.
And Board Member Thompson.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We want to entertain a motion to excuse Commissioners Kopas and Commissioners Cantor.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Hearing none, the motion passes. So we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, approval of the agenda. It's a pretty straightforward agenda this evening. If there are no questions or changes, we'll entertain a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Hearing none, the motion passes. The agenda is approved. We'll move on to approval of the meeting minutes. Assuming commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes in advance or now, if there are any corrections or modifications to correct the record, we'll entertain those at this time. Otherwise, we'll entertain a motion for approval of the meeting minutes for May 21st, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Hearing none, the motion passes. We'll move on to the public comment section of the agenda. If there's anything that the public would like to discuss that's not an item on the agenda, we'd entertain that at this time. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item 6, the public hearing. We have 2 items under this heading. We have the public hearing for the capital improvements plan and a public hearing for the planned unit development. We'll start by opening the public hearing for the capital improvements plan. And seeing that, unless there's any item that the public would like to speak to or has any questions regarding the capital improvements plan. If not, we will close the public hearing, or entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
You can just close it.
We'll just close it. Okay. So we'll move on to the public hearing for the planned unit development. And we'll open that at this time. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak regarding the planned unit development. Hearing none, we will close the public hearing for the planned unit development. And we'll move on to new business, which is, we've got 2 items related to the previous 2. Recommend approval or denial of the capital improvements plan. If there's no further discussion or questions amongst anyone on the commission, we would entertain a motion to either recommend approval or denial of the capital improvements plan, passing it along to, this is the recommendation to the City Council.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval for the capital improvement plan.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes. Let the record show that recommendation to approve the capital improvements plan. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, recommend approval or denial of the planned unit development. If there are no questions or any discussion that the commission needs to have at this time, we'll entertain a motion for approval or denial of the planned unit development.
So move. Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. The record show that the commission has recommended approval of the planned unit development. On to old business. Any old business that the commission would like to raise or have any discussion on this evening? Okay, hearing none. I think we'll move on to general communication and correspondence. We have a legal update.
I feel like I have to say something. I'll give you the same legal update that I gave council last night. There were two issues that we spoke on. First was an issue that was ongoing with the Olga's, the sewer backup. We finally resolved that. They presented a check to the city, just over $2,000 for reimbursing the city for their expenses related to that sewer backup there. And then Pam's not here tonight, but the last pending commercial tax appeal in the city was dismissed. So there's currently no commercial tax appeals pending.
That's great.
Okay, great.
Was the reimbursement from Olga's, was that like part of a fine or?
Yeah, that was part, under the ordinance, they're responsible for all costs incurred by the city as a result of their violation. This is like grease trap Yeah, it
or
was
something?
undisputed that their building had
Caused the backup?
circumvented their grease trap and caused the backup in the sewer, so they took responsibility for that and reimbursed the city.
Great.
Great, great. Okay, DDA, our staff update. If there's anything to report or any news?
I have a few things. So I'll start off with a still known word on that Partners in Preservation grant that I told you about for next door. I'm starting to lose a bit of hope, but I'm still optimistic because that's just me. We will be, you're going to see some banners popping up along Southfield Road, hopefully before 4th of July. So the DDA is trying their hardest to make some visual impact and really start slowing people down and making them realize that this is a place. We're not just a thoroughfare. So you'll see those. We had our quarter cleanup. Went awesome.
What are the banners? What will they say?
I should have brought a proof with me, but they've got 4 quadrants, sort of to represent the 4 quadrants of the city. We've got a graphic to represent art. We've got like the artist palette. We've got clef note for our concerts in the park, some trees, and fork and spoon. So to represent our budding restaurant scene, right? And then it's going to say Lathrup Village across the top, and then along the side it says downtown.
So this is the banners that are on the light.
Yes, these are going to go on the light post. I anticipate that we're going to keep moving forward with new banner designs, as the months and years progress. So there is that. We're also going to be having some Main Street Oakland County activities. There is an event tomorrow, if anyone's interested, and I only have a couple of these brochures. If you can pass them down for me, Scott. It's tomorrow. It's an all-day session on resolving conflict along Main Street. So I'll be going. I know it's difficult to take time off, and I know it's super last minute, but if you have nothing else to do on a Wednesday, I recommend it. There will also be a not Main Street 101, although that is happening. There is a summer rounds. Main Street Oakland County is going to be doing their summer rounds of visiting each of their Main Street communities over the course of the next couple of months. The DDA has picked August 9th as the date for their summer rounds. It's going to be at noon. somewhere here in City Hall, probably down in the community room. And it's going to be a lunch and learn type of activity. Very early stages of planning, but just kind of save the date for that. And Jill and I are working right now on our grant for Transportation Alternatives program to implement the bike route. So keep your fingers crossed that we are successful in our application. And that would, if we are, construction would likely begin next spring.
Where are you submitting that to?
That is MDOT.
I'm done, okay.
So is that like physical demarcation of the bike route?
It is
Yeah.
mostly going to be wayfinding signage, and adding some connections, missing connections at this point. I don't think we're doing any on-street pavement marking at this juncture, but
How much are you requesting?
200.
The total grant's $250,000.
Yeah,
There's a couple of portions of shared use path
Oh,
that are proposed, and that's more of the bulk of it, and then the signs to direct people
Is it a
through.
one-year funding or a multi-year?
It's 1 year.
1 year, yeah. Okay.
And it's to implement the bike route portion and the non-motorized portion of the capital, or the non-motorized transportation plan, the Complete Streets plan that we did in 2011.
Cool.
So,
And when do you hope to hear?
Well, the application's due on the 26th, so I think we'd probably hear in the fall.
yeah,
is my guess.
late summer,
I'm
maybe. I'm not sure.
kind of blanking on some of those.
We're really more
award
focused on the
announcements.
deadline of submission at the moment.
Yeah, the 26th is the only date that sticks in my head right now, but I imagine we'll find out more in the fall.
Good.
Yep.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Oh, boy.
And this is
Okay.
just an observation in the, there's a section along 696.
Okay.
The green space, right up against the wall, right across from Michigan First, that is not cut. And I'm assuming that's Lathrup's property.
And that was a good question, and I did ask our contractor who does the landscaping for the, that section of 696 to get back to me on that this week. So
Okay.
we are aware, following up on it.
It looks like they just stopped short of one section right there, so I just thought I'd ask. I'm sure other residents may have been wondering as well as they come and go from the community, so. But Jill, are there any updates from
I
the city
was going to
planners at
mention the
all?
TAP grant application also, and other than that, I can't think of anything else really at this time.
Okay.
Has anybody heard any updates from Bruce Cantor's infrastructure committee?
Well, they have been meeting regularly. You probably want to.
Yes, they made their recommendation relative to a sidewalk improvement program, starting with the business corridor this year and then moving to the residential areas on a rotational basis to cover each quadrant, if you want to call it. And they're still working on the road improvement recommendation, which will include a request to have the culverts and ditches a part of that project. So I'm anticipating that probably at our next regular meeting on July 22nd.
June 22nd?
June 22nd is a special meeting.
Yeah.
July.
July, okay. Too many 22nd.
And then the other, from the council, they are having a special meeting this Saturday on June 22nd at 9 a.m. to take the recommendations from the Planning Commission for the zoning ordinance change as well as for the capital improvement program.
Okay, great. Thank you. If there are no other items that would need to be discussed, or anybody would like to discuss in the commission, we'll entertain a motion
Real quick, sorry, before you.
before we adjourn.
Just a quick update on Lathrup Village Summer Stroll. Been some questions whether that was going to happen this year or not. Looks like that is going to happen. It's a tentative date of Sunday, August 18th. A sponsor has been secured, and more updates will be coming out in the coming weeks.
Awesome.
What
Great,
is that
thank
event?
you.
What is that event?
Lathrop Summer Stroll is it's primarily a musical event that occurs in the city. Different households host performances by musical acts, and anybody inside or outside the community can participate, walk around the community, see
Cool.
people's homes and backyards, and hear some good music.
Love it. Great.
There's a lot of events like this that are going on. Ferndale has one called
The
Front
party on the porch or
Porch.
front porch?
Ferndale Front Porch, I think is
Yeah.
what that's called.
I know
And then
Hamtramck used to have, at least they used to have one.
Hamtramck
several
used to
years
have
ago.
one. I don't know if they still do. Ann Arbor has the Waterhill Music Festival. So if anybody's been to something like that, it's that style of an event.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this would be the fourth or fifth year.
I know what you're going to say. I know what you're there. And fangirl over here. Go.
Mr. Chairman, if I might. The city will be kicking off our summer series of summer concerts starting next Wednesday, June 26th at 7 p.m. And the performer that day will be Lord Yancey, a jazz saxophonist, and I am very eager to see this performance. And I invite
Great.
you to join me.
We invite the community to enjoy this as well and to join in on the fun for these events.
Do I take it that the farmer's market
The
is
farmer's market, thank you for bringing that up. The farmer's market is not going to occur this year. However, Chris has been very diligent in trying to find a way to make something work. So we are actually partnering with the city of Southfield, and we're going to have a shuttle from Lathrop Village to the Royal Oak Farmers Market. And so we're working on that partnership. And while it's not entirely what we had intended when he first started, we're getting some really good feedback on it. So we're running with it this year. Chris actually came to the DDA board meeting last Friday, and we discussed some of other ideas, such as theme days or theme weeks for our businesses, possibly doing a car show, and maybe evolving that into a cruise next year to see if that's going to work, and just kind of exploring some other more unique options that might be better suited for the
Did
community.
Ian Ferguson solidify the car show for next Wednesday?
I have not
Not car
heard.
show,
I know
but-
that they were. I know they were out there counting parking spaces. I'm not sure. I haven't been part of those conversations, so I don't know if it's been solidified or not. But
It's definitely not been solidified, is all I can offer.
Cheryl's not aware of it, yeah.
Thank you.
oh, goat yoga, yes. After our special meeting on this Saturday.
Is it Saturday or Friday?
It is Saturday.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's
I have to
Saturday.
check.
I think Goat Yoga's on Friday.
I thought it was in November. All right, so goat yoga is going to be happening at Fortalist.
Yeah, it's at 10 o'clock on Friday.
10 o'clock on Friday?
Yes.
Maybe I'll go do
Friday
goat
at
yoga
11.
on Friday.
Well, there's two sessions. Second session's at 11:30.
So if you've ever had an interest in joining the fad of goat yoga, it's happening on Friday at 10 a.m. over at Fortalist. Should be interesting.
That's fabulous.
All sorts of interesting events happening in the city.
Yes, excellent.
A little something for everyone, it sounds like.
Please take a lot of photos.
I'm
And then
going
post them
for
on
that
social media.
specific reason.
You're going for that specific
Yes.
reason? The photos or?
Yes, because, well, my sister-in-law wants to
Encourage
go,
friends.
and she wants me to do it, and then she said she'd take pictures, but I'm like, no. That's
I'll
okay.
do it if
That'd
you
be
do it,
great.
Jill.
No.
Come on.
All right, I'll meet you there at 11:30.
How about 10?
Great.
All right. Well, if there are no other items to share,
I would like to make an motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, meeting's adjourned.